we take every measures to disseminate accurate, timely, bilingual information from local and national authorities. As you know, there's so much wrong or misinformation going on. So we want to make sure that we pass the information, the correct information to our community. And we also do provide people with health information and counseling services as needed. We just actually finished one video, health education session on video, and I believe this was is out already. And the video is for the topic is how to improve your immune system, and it's done by Dr. Ke Zhou from Wayne State University. And then we also try to bridge the gaps and ease tension between different cultures. As you can see every day on newspaper, on Facebook, all resources, there's so many race-related incidents happening across the communities in the nation. Also, we provide assistance and referrals to those who may need to seek medical services. And a lot of work needs to be done, and today's panel discussion is one of the results of the committee's great efforts. And then I would also like to thank Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. Thank you for the great partnership. And without further ado, I would like to introduce our moderator today, Dr. Sui Wu. Dr. Sui Wu, and you can see on your table there is a committee chart, and you will see the list of all the committee members. Sui Wu, she's a professor from Eastern Michigan University. She's also the director of Healthy Asian American Projects and also Centers for Health Disparity, Innovation, and Studies. We have a long-term relationship with Dr. Sui Wu and her project. And we're very thankful that she made today's panel discussion happen and also co-sponsor this event. So, Dr. Wu.
Thank you so much. And Shirley and I have worked since very early days, and I don't want to reveal it because the performance I'm sure we don't talk about this. But thank you, ACA, and for co-sponsoring this very important event. So I want to give some background how it started. So about in February, that I received an email from DHHS minority section where we received the grants from, and which is minority health disparity from Brenda, who is the manager. And so at that time that the coronavirus just started kind of coming to the surface to US and getting attention. So there are some materials developed that they want to disseminate it and share with Asian communities. And then gradually I started talking to, and there's also Dr. Chamberlain. She is the section administrator for the emergency sections in DHHS. So I started kind of conversation with them, discussion with them, knowing that there's a lot of fear, just like Shirley said, fear, and there's also a lot of knowledge or misconceptions or even discrimination that occurring not only in Michigan but throughout the world. And so I think we here in Michigan, we need to take appropriate and very timely action and to respond to this public health concern. And therefore, then I said, why don't we do a Q&A session? And that will be very helpful for our larger Asian community, where that although that Chinese community has been majority affected, but as the time goes, that we know more and more Asian countries, such as Korea, Japan, and many others, being affected now. It's even Europe, every continent. So, and we then designed this session is more like a leader session, because we want to make sure that our leader has the first-hand information that they can bring it back to their community in the most effective way. So in the Maytag era, when Roland and I were in Maytag, we did town halls. And town hall has been very effective at that time, that we do a lot of town halls related to different health issues such as Obamacare and other health-related issues. And CEDAS, which is our Center for Health Disparities Innovation Center, which existed since 2 years ago, 2018. And then we have been working decades from east to west, just like Shannon said, that major community health agencies such as ACA, which is a champion, they provide full-blown services, as you heard, even on this COVID kind of topic. So we decided that we need to tap into these community partners. We need to work with them closely. So that's why this session is to invite these leaders from this major agencies and also representing different ethnic groups. So together here, in this hall and in this room with us, that we have a leader from Filipino communities, Pakistani communities, and then on the phone, I know that there's people from Bangladesh community that cannot come in here today because they just finished their 1 p.m. prayer. And also a Burmese community from Battle Creek, Shirley, if you're out there. So we hope to involve as many as community partners. We also invited Korean community for their newspaper publisher, and there's the MIindia.com, which is the major resource for disseminating information for the South Asian community. So again, that we hope throughout this session there is ripple effect, and then we have Lisa, who has a premier kind of a source in Chinese community media source. So we hope that with your help, we could disseminate the most immediate and very accurate information back to our community to dispel some of the misconceptions and some fake news and take appropriate immediate action. And that's the goal and aim that we are hoping to achieve today. And I'm very, very excited and very appreciative that Yachacha sent two very experienced epidemiologists. And I want to introduce first Nicole Parker-Stroke. And she is a Region 2 North epidemiologist in MD at Chachas. And so Region 2, I believe, covered Wayne County, right?
Actually covers Oakland, Macomb, and St. Clair County.
Right. So here we are in the Oakland County, and it's your kind of purview. And so she got a bachelor degree from U of M, and then went to Missouri to get her MPH, Master of Public Health. And she has been with Oakland County Health Division for 3 years, and then you went to Chachas.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. And then we have here is Joyce Lai. Okay. So Joyce is also the regional epidemiologist with MD at Chachas in the communicable disease division, covering the lower southeast Michigan area. And I saw from your CV, very excited. You have a lot of infectious disease kind of background, including from West Nile, SARS, chickenpox, and the MERS, and then recently the COVID-19. And you got your both degree from U of M. Yes, both undergraduate and the master from U of M. And she has several positions in terms of teaching, in terms of laboratory, in terms of guest lecture. So here we have the very two best experts, and I'm going to turn the time back to them and to have them to do an overview and through the PowerPoint. Okay.
Thank you. So I'm going to go over what our presentation is going to look like. It's going to try to follow along with the questions that were given to us, submitted to us. So first of all, we're going to give an overview of the basics of COVID-19, that's what the virus is presently called, and then give you a situational summary. So basically what the disease looks like globally in the US as well as in Michigan. And then along the way, when the slides come up that actually address one of the questions that was submitted, we will let you know. And then we're also going to try to clarify some of the misinformation and misconceptions about COVID-19. And then we actually have another question and answer session specifically addressing some of the other questions that aren't addressed in our overview. So I know many of you have probably already seen this image, but this is an image of what this particular virus looks like. It was initially called severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2. And it's called a coronavirus because if you look at the proteins that stick out, so these are the ones that are labeled E, S, and M. These are the proteins that produce a corona-like kind of halo around the virus. And so if you look under microscopy, especially electron microscopy, you see this corona effect of the virus. So it was initially called SARS-CoV-2 and then referred to as 2019 novel coronavirus. And presently, the WHO renamed it as COVID-19. So from this point on, it's being referred to as COVID-19. But you will see in previous media reports and also previous articles some of these other names. So just so you know, it's the same virus. And this basically is a virus that was first reported out in late 2019 from Wuhan, China, and is presently causing a lot of concern and spreading throughout the world. So the way it's transmitted is through droplet transmission. So this is when someone either sneezes or coughs, and those droplets contain viral particles that then are able to transmit viral disease to other people. And usually we say within 6 feet of being around a person that has this disease, it's usually the direct contact kind of area. We also are concerned with people that have maybe coughed or sneezed on a surface, and then someone else touching that surface and then touching either their eye or their nose or their mouth inadvertently, and that gets the virus into the person's body. So the initial symptoms that we're looking for when we talk about COVID-19 are fever, cough, and shortness of breath. But generally, any kind of lower respiratory symptom that causes some kind of distress, so that also includes pneumonia and some other severe presentations of the disease. And looking over what we've seen so far reported out, this is very similar to other coronaviruses where there is a possible transmission of 1 to 14 days. So that's why we try to say that we want people to be monitoring themselves for that period of time in the media and so forth. And so we had quite a few questions about how to prevent the disease from spreading. So you definitely want to avoid close contact with anyone who is sick with respiratory-like symptoms. You do want to try to avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth inadvertently. You know, when you shift around during the day, you kind of touch your face without realizing it. So that's what we want you to prevent to do if possible. You want someone to stay at home when they're sick because you don't want the chance of them spreading it to others. You also want to make sure that your cough is covered. The ideal situation is coughing into a tissue and then throwing away the tissue. But we know that there are instances where you may not have that available, so that's usually when we have that advice of coughing into your arm or to your elbow, so that it prevents further spread into other surfaces and areas. And then you want to try to clean and disinfect frequently areas that people normally touch. So these are usually like doorknobs, some maybe computer, keyboard surfaces, things like that that you normally, a lot of people may come in contact with. And then you also have ways of disinfecting other household surfaces that if you're in close contact, you may have accidentally contact with someone who else had maybe sneezed or coughed there previously. So we do get this question a lot. Using a face mask versus hand hygiene. So following both CDC and WHO guidance, using a face mask is not recommended to prevent you from getting infected with the virus. Face masks should only be worn if you're already symptomatic and you don't want it to spread to other people. So just generally wearing a face mask on your daily activity is not going to prevent you from getting the virus. First of all, it's difficult to wear a face mask for that long a period of time. And once the face mask material gets wet, it becomes less effective as creating a barrier between yourself and others. So that's why we kind of use this as a guidance. And the best way to actually kill a virus is hand washing. Proper hand washing meaning soap and water. So you need to rinse your hands under water and rub with soap for at least 20 seconds. And the friction in that action actually disrupts the membrane of the virus and kills it. So this is exactly what we tell kids when they're growing up, right? You want to wash your hands really well with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Same instructions. And so if you don't have soap and water nearby or available, that's when we suggest people using a hand sanitizer. So this is the 60% ethanol or higher concentration of that kind of hand sanitizer gel that people use on a daily basis as well. So presently, there's no treatment. There are vaccine candidates that are being presently developed and tested, but so far there is no vaccine available against the virus. We also know that there are some drugs that are being considered either treating or stemming the infection. They're also in clinical trials as well. So one of them that was mentioned was remdesivir, which is from Gilead, which is actually a US company. And so the China Center for Drug Evaluation did authorize a clinical trial using this drug. The results have not come back yet. But generally what we tell people is that you have to do what's called supportive treatment. You just need to make sure people are well hydrated, they are taking it easier, they're not exposing themselves to others, and that's the best way to get over the virus.
So we also have a lot of questions about what to do if you did become sick. And this is in regards more to people coming back and visiting after going abroad. So as of right now, the CDC has recommended that individuals returning from what they call level 2 and 3 countries, which are China, Iran, Italy, Japan, and South Korea, that those individuals try to monitor themselves for signs and symptoms of coronavirus disease after returning from travel. And we also advise that for those who have come in contact with somebody who is ill and recently returned from these countries, that they too monitor themselves for signs and symptoms. The reason why we made this advisement is the 14-day period is related to how long we think from the time of exposure to when you would get sick. That's why we have to remain that recommendation for 14 days. If you do get sick, you want to make sure that you call ahead to your healthcare professional where you intend to receive testing, and that can be your provider. There are also hospitals that are able to do this testing. And one thing we want to advise is that you call ahead to let them know that you're coming, because they want to make sure that they get you in to be tested quickly, as well as limiting your exposure to others that may be in the waiting rooms of these places. In addition, when you go to your doctor, they will communicate with the public health department to talk over what your travel history exposure was, what your signs and symptoms are, and get you approved for testing criteria. They want to work together to try to make sure that we assess the risk that you have for getting the illness, as well as determining if that's what you do. So steps you can take to help prevent the spread of COVID-19 if you are sick. As Rose mentioned, staying home, expect to get medical care, separating yourself from other people or animals in your home. You can identify a room, and also on this later, where you could possibly self-isolate. That way you can make sure that you can be at home with your family members, but also make sure that you can stay. As I mentioned, following the heavy purpose of the doctor, and as Chris touched on, wearing a face mask if you do go about to prevent the droplets from diseases from transmitting to others. And then emotion management. It's the best measure to prevent continuing services if you are sick. So, CDC has issued travel advisories, as I mentioned, the categories of level 2 and level 3. These first started February 2nd, first with China being the first country where we recommended monitoring individuals who had traveled to the country within the past 14 days. But on February 29th, restriction of travel from Milan was also lifted. Individuals from Italy, South Korea, and Japan, as of right now, are not recommended to go through this public health monitoring that individuals from China and Iran are recommended to go through. But individuals who are returning from these countries can self-monitor after the return, as I mentioned before. So this is a map of the countries that currently have travel advisories. The dark blue, China and Iran, has sustained widespread transmission, and the U.S. has suspended any entry of individuals who are not U.S. citizens from the royal blue countries, Korea and Italy, have sustained ongoing transmission, and CDC has recommended avoiding non-essential travel. Japan is highlighted in light blue. They have sustained community transmission, but CDC has recommended that older adults and those with chronic underlying medical conditions not go to Japan during this time. So I mentioned it, just kind of touch on the level 2 through 1 notifications. As I mentioned, level 3 is avoiding of non-essential travel. China and Iran have suspended travel of individuals who are not U.S. citizens. Italy and South Korea do fall into the level 3 designation, which is just avoiding non-essential travel to those countries. And then level 2 is just practicing hand precautions, those who are sick can't go at this time. And then level 1, Hong Kong was on level 1 for a time, but it has since been removed. And that's just practice usual precautions, so make sure you're up to date on your vaccinations before you travel to the country. And CDC has also recommended that all travelers reconsider cruise ship travel at this time into and out of Asia. But as you guys have likely seen, we have big cruise ships sitting out in the San Francisco Bay Harbor right now that has ill individuals on it who are going to be tested. And this is kind of a global map representing all countries as of yesterday who have reported cases of COVID-19, and this is going to continually get darker and darker blue, unfortunately. As I mentioned, the countries that currently have the travel 2 and 3 are the ones that are having the most sustained rapid transmission. And just so you can see, this is kind of where we're at in terms of the numbers for COVID-19. Globally, there's been over 93,000 cases reported. And the majority of those so far have been in China, but they were hit first, and therefore have had the most cases thus far, with about over 80,000 individuals being sick. However, within the last week, cases outside of China, in terms of numbers added each day, has exceeded numbers being reported in China. So that indicates that there's more global spread occurring with this illness outside of China at this time. And outside of China, we're seeing it a little under about 13,000 individuals reported. And there have been deaths reported with this, as everyone is aware. They are tragic, and we are to go out to those families who have had loved ones pass away from us. So here in the United States, our numbers are ever evolving. As of last night, around 4 p.m., our case count stood at 99. There have been more cases added since 4 p.m. last night. So while these numbers are a little out of date, I will let you guys know, CDC updates their website every day at noon. So the newest case counts that have been reported to CDC will be updated there daily by 12 o'clock. We break these cases down by individuals who have travel-related possible COVID-19 exposure, so they went to a country where we know there is sustained transmission. Or individuals who were reported positive due to person-to-person spread. So these are secondary contacts to a confirmed. And then we have an additional 49 under investigation. So these are individuals that have been referred to CDC, not yet confirmed. So these are all the states that have reported cases to CDC so far. Those in the darkest orange have reported between 30 to 40 cases, and that's primarily California and the state of Washington. And then the lighter orange states have reported anywhere from 1 to 5 cases. As you can see, we in Michigan have no cases reported at this time. And I'll go over what we've been doing in terms of evaluating shortly. But you can see that we do have many more departments. Everybody's here is also Canada. Ontario, which is right across where they have had multiple cases reported. So it is something we're very aware of and trying to make sure we're ready to So the other piece that CDC has been using is talking about cases from individuals who were repatriated. What this means is these are individuals that were in Wuhan or on the Diamond Princess cruise ship, and they were either tested in those countries and resulted as positive. A few have been tested here in the US since they were brought back. So you guys likely heard on the news about the rescue flights that went into Wuhan, as well as going to Japan to pick up the individuals in the Diamond Princess cruise. Those individuals were brought back and then monitored for 14 days at various Air Force bases in China and California and Texas. The majority of these individuals have completed their 14 days of monitoring and have been released home because they made it through without being known. Those who were sick are going through their medical care and will be released once they test negative for illness. So these are the numbers that we display on our Michigan coronavirus site. These are as of yesterday. So far, we have approved 16 individuals for testing. We have 8 individuals who have tested negative, and we have 8 individuals whose tests are pending. So these are individuals that their specimens are coming to our state laboratory to receive testing for coronavirus. We also have an additional section referring to individuals referred for monitoring. So these are the individuals that I touched on before who are coming from Iran and China and have been referred to the state of Michigan for monitoring for the 14-day period. So we assessed about 406 of those individuals so far, and then there are 82 of them still going through their 14-day monitoring after return from travel. So we have several questions about preparedness planning that ask about what NGHS and hospitals are doing to prepare for COVID-19. Here in the state of Michigan, we're very lucky in that we have what are called regional healthcare coalitions. Both Joyce and I work with the Region 2 North and Region 2 South healthcare coalitions. We have routine meetings that are through monthly and include partners from hospitals and hospital and health systems, local and state health departments, emergency management, emergency medical services, and other community partners to Red Cross. We have had these meetings in place over decades now. And we've exercised with these partners scenarios just like this, where pandemic flu or a new emerging respiratory virus would occur, and have kind of played out what the scenario would be if an individual were to arrive that tested positive. How would the hospital be prepared to receive that person, test that person, care for that person? So these are things that we've been planning and preparing for a number of years. Also, during the COVID-19 crisis, we have instituted weekly calls with healthcare facilities to share information about COVID-19 and share preparedness planning documents, as well as try to generate some planning preparedness documents that the hospitals are requesting. We have requests for appropriate PPE document often, frequently asked questions for staff. We've been trying to answer those questions from our healthcare provider community, make sure that they're prepared to treat those components. There was also a question about whether we have been working with these schools to try to get them prepared for COVID-19. We have been working with the Michigan Department of Education to distribute COVID-19 preparedness planning resources from CDC. Local health departments have also been working with their school districts to share these planning documents. So back in 2009, as we remember, pandemic H1N1 that went through. At that time, MDs who have some local departments actually worked with schools to create internet food plans. And we're dusting those off because the same methodologies that we recommended back in 2009 also work for COVID-19. So cleaning up those high touch surfaces, making sure that ill students are excluded from school, ill teachers also excluded from school, so that they don't spread it further within the school building. So we have been working with them to try to make sure that they've got those plans in place when they're comfortable doing those things. So just wanted to touch on some of these infections and questions that have come up. This virus sees their nationality, gender, or anything like that. It is an equal opportunity infector, as are most common communicable diseases. So individuals who have not recently traveled to China or have been in contact with a person who's confirmed or suspected case of COVID-19 are not at greater risk of acquiring and spreading COVID-19 than any other American. Like I said, viruses cannot target people from a specific group. They're equal opportunity infectors. People who have returned from China for more than 14 days ago and don't have symptoms are not considered infected with the virus, and contact with them will not be because we know that within that 14-day period, if you were exposed, you will develop symptoms within that 14 days. After that, you are healthy, and able to work as per normal. And then we in public health know that we can help counter stigma during the COVID-19 time so that we're sharing accurate information about how the virus spreads to the public health. That brings us to the question.
爸，你会填2020年人口普查吗？
人口普查？
对呀，每10年一次，重新统计住在美国的每个人，这些数据有助规划公共资金，决定分给学校、诊所、收入等的比例。学校教的。
真好，但是爸爸现在没时间。
爸，很重要，我们一起上2020census.gov， 说不定还能改善交通呢。
那爸感兴趣。
详情请上2020census.gov。